Hey there everyone, my name is Monkey Shrapnel and we're here with something, I don't know, I guess a little different. I'm going to be playing through Pokemon Stadium 2 and I'm going to be doing round 2 and I'm going to do all the different ranks of the Pokecups. And I'm going to be doing it with event Pokemon, so like, the big things I'll be focusing on are our good old pal Baton Pass Farfetch'd, the Earthquake Gligar, Amnesia Golduck, Surfly Pikachu, and then since Pokemon Stadium doesn't have any other event Pokemon, I just did Low Kick, Dojo, and I'm now realizing that I did this Magmar. It is an event Magmar, but it doesn't actually have the event move. No, wait, it has Faint Attack. I'm an idiot. I don't know, I just forgot there for a sec. Whatever. There you go, it's registered. Bada bing, bada boom. And yeah, I don't know, I'll just be playing through, I'll be talking about stuff. I mean, what else is there to do? I just felt like doing this, I don't know. I haven't recorded anything for quite a while. I just haven't had the time. Like, they've been doing so much work around the area, so it's just, like, loud, and I also haven't really felt like it. Because otherwise I'd be recording at nighttime, and that's always just, like, meh. Anyways, let's see. I guess this seems like a pretty standard team. Actually, wait. Well, I mean, looking at everything, this probably makes the most sense. Man, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 are such great games. I never understood why Nintendo decided to... I mean, I don't know if it's Nintendo or Game Freak, but either way, I never understood why they went out of their way to make these games and then just never really did anything with them again. Like, we kind of got a Stadium 3 in Battle Revolution, but that game's not anywhere near the scale of this game. Besides lacking all the side content, like the emulators stuff, the mini games, even the actual, like, base game is less fleshed out because there's not as much to do. And there's not nearly as many rentals. Like, there's only a couple rentals in that game. So, like, this game you can beat without actually having any of the other games. You can just play with the rentals, and it's tough. It's very tough using the rentals, especially given some of them are very bad, but like it's not impossible, and especially like some of them are very useful. Like some of the best rentals are like Voltorb, Fearow, Kadabra, Wobbuffet. Like those rentals are really good, and they'll get you through the game, even if you have to be a little smart about it. Boom. Oh, light attack. You know, one-hit kill moves. Imagine if Slash was a one-hit kill move. Slash, like, moves with high crit ratio are actually boosted up 2 levels in this game. So, like, the base crit ratio in this game is 6.25%, I think? And then high crit moves in this game have a 25% chance to crit, whereas in future games, they lower them down to just 12.5%, which, once you actually know that that's a thing, it's like, that's really weird, because, like, why would they nerf moves that aren't even that good to begin with? It kind of reminds me of how Self-Destruct and Explosion got nerfed. Like, man, I love these quotes. Like, Self-Destruct and Explosion, I don't know, like, they're very strong moves in Gen 2 to 4, yes, but I mean, now they're, ever since Gen 5 nerfed them, they're just like almost unusable. Nobody ever uses them. Because in the grand scheme of things, base 250 power isn't even that high anymore. Like, it's kind of sad to think that like there are moves as strong as Self-Destruct's 200 with like no drawbacks, basically. Oh, can it keep going? Yeah, that's a great quote. Let's just body slam this mofo. What? Jeez, endured twice? What's the point? You're at 1 HP already. Water. It's what your body needs to survive. I've been drinking so much water lately. Like, I used to drink a lot of, like, juice. And then I just kind of stopped and I just started drinking water. It's nice. It's refreshing. And also you can stab bug types with big beaks. You know, my team has a lot of flying types because they handed out a lot of flying event Pokemon. Like, Gligar and Farfetch'd are both flying types. And then they give out a Pikachu that it can fly. Like, it's ridiculous. They really like things flying. Look at that team. There are so many water types. I don't understand. Like, I know it kind of makes sense when you think about how the Earth is covered, like, mostly in water. But, like, man, there are a lot of water types. I guess just Golduck to resist, and then just Dojo to power through. I'm scared to use Gligar because every water type in bloody existence has access to ice moves. Like, off the top of my head, I think the only... I can't even think of a water type that can't learn Ice Beam. I'm honestly not even sure. Wow, that's not good. I mean, on the other hand, though, this is a Light Ball Pikachu, so it's gonna hit like a truck. Let's see how hard this hits. Maybe I should have made him level 55. Damn! You're gonna 2-hit a Lantern? That's no joke. Looks like the type matchup don't matter. You know, the quotes in this game are kind of weird how strict they are to actually get. It kind of results in hearing the same quotes a lot, which is too bad. Because, like, if you want to hear the quote for doing a lot of damage with a not very effective move, you have to do, I think it's 75% or more within a single not very effective move. Which, in Gen 2, is ridiculously hard to do because everything is so bulky. Right? Like, even with Light Ball, that was a neutral hit that did a little over half. And I mean, Lantern is bulky, but still, like, everything's bulky in this game. When you can maximize all your stats, it's like, that's just how it goes. And it's weird because I didn't realize this until recently, but in the first Pokemon Stadium, it's actually really lenient. You don't even have to do, like, you do, like, 40% or more, and the announcer will be like, wow, the type disadvantage doesn't matter at all. Like, man, you know? There's a lot of weird quotes you never hear. Like, a big one is big level differences, because in the first stadium, you'll hear it in Pika Cup a lot, especially if you're using rentals, because especially in round 2, you run into a lot of level 20s, and that's high enough difference that the announcer would be like, whoa, this one looks tough. But in this game, there is no big level difference like that. The most is in Pika Cup, because Little Cup is just all level 5s. Gym Castle is just whatever your highest level is, and then Prime Cup is 100. And in Challenge Cup, you can't even control your level, so it doesn't even matter. Bada bing, bada boom. And it's too bad, because once again, like, there's some really good, like, the announcer is so good in this game, especially this one. Like, he's good in the first stadium, but in the 2, he's, like, even better. Like, there are some things he says that are just great. Let's see. This is an interesting team. I think Magmar will probably put in most work here. Dojo is always a good choice. And then I guess just Golduck, because he has pretty good type coverage here. There's some pretty cool event Pokemon though. Like, the Surfing and Flying Pikachu is one thing, but like, it's kind of crazy to think that Amnesia Psyduck was a thing they gave away at one point. That was special. Same thing with like Gligar that can Earthquake. And in a way, it's kind of sad because it's like, in later games, Gligar can just learn Earthquake. It's like, it's kind of strange. Let's see. I think I'll send out Golduck. Golduck will actually probably beat Kabu. What? He's switching too. Oh shit. Is he sending in Graveler? It would be either that. No, it's Graveler. Well, that's convenient. I guess I'll send in my own dude. Heck yeah. It kind of makes sense given that Amnesia is a really good move in Gen 1. You know, it's actually funny, because I hear... Every time you hear someone talk about game balance in Gen 1, they always bring up that Amnesia was this broken move that made the Pokemon they learned broken beyond belief. But it's like, in hindsight, not really. Like, most of the Pokemon that learn Amnesia don't have very high special to begin with. Like, probably the highest is the event Golduck. It's like 85 special in Gen 1. Because Slowbro only has like 80 special, and then Snorlax doesn't have high special either. And like, there are moves now that are even better than Amnesia. Like, it's not very common, but Tail Glow, for example, raises special attack by 3 stages now. Like, it's kind of insane. What would Kabutops do? Probably a rock move, actually, so let's just counter. Hell yeah. Counter is such a good move in Stadium 2. I guess that doesn't actually do that much, does it? But, like, seriously, like, Mirror Coat and Counter are basically the moves that get you through the game. Like, you know why that the Rental Voltorb is so good? Because it has Mirror Coat and Self-Destruct. So you can basically get a free kill on any special attacker, and then you just blow up on the next thing. And that can get you through so much. I'm just going to keep countering. Next one's going to do a lot. Alright? It should almost kill him. There you go. Counter that shit. Boom! So many Pokemon... It's funny, because Counter isn't that great of a move in Gen 1, because it's basically meant for fighting types to counter other fighting types. And for, I guess, like, so normal types can also counter fighting types. Really, it's one of the reasons why fighting types suck in Gen 1. Because they have a move specifically dedicated to just blowing them up, basically. But, like, then you can teach a lot of Pokemon counter and then transfer them to Gen 2, where they're like, it is such a good move. Like, in a generation where everything is incredibly tanky, being able to just explosively damage another Pokemon is a huge deal. Because, like, you can counter with pretty much anything, and as long as you're playing Gen 2, nothing dies in one hit. But counter can do it. That and Mirror Coat. But Mirror Coat's a Gen 2 move, so it's not quite as widespread, especially since it's not a TM. And funny enough, the event Gligar even comes with counter because that's an egg move, which is pretty cool. Yeah, did I mention that earlier? Like, I think it's kind of almost a little lame that, like, Gligar getting Earthquake was like this big thing in Gen 2. And then Gen 3 onward, it just gets Earthquake for free. It just learns it. And I guess it kind of makes sense, because it's not like Gligar is a particularly great Pokemon. But, like, I mean, eventually got an evolution. It would have been cool if it kept... Like, I don't know. It's like you don't see event moves as often anymore. Like, the Generation 2 got a ton of them because, like, the... What was it? The New York Pokemon Center handed out a ton of event Pokemon that win moves. Like, the Gen 2 meta is shaped by these moves because, like, Snorlax and a bunch of Pokemon get, like, Lovely Kiss, which is such a great move to give to stuff. What do I want to use here? So, wow, it's actually kind of varied. Let's just... Dodrio, Gligar probably be good, and then... maybe Pikachu just to power through. That seems good. Who did it sound at first? Yeah, Dodrio, okay. You know, the Pokemon Stadium 2 soundtrack is one I always see people saying it's not quite as good as the first ones, and I can kind of agree with that. But at the same time, I think it kind of... how do I put this? I saw a review of Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 soundtracks a while ago, and then the best way I could describe it is how he did. Where, like, the first games isn't as good as this... Like, the first games is better to listen on its own, whereas the second game is better to listen to as it's, like, in-game. Even though I don't actually agree with that statement, but it is... I think it's true of this game, where the Stadium 2 soundtrack is really good in the moment. Oh my god, the double confusion. I'm getting wrecked. Confuse right into Screech to make myself hit even harder on myself. Man, that is just maniacal. I'm just gonna keep drill packing. Okay, thank God. Boom, drill pack. Nice crit. I can't believe that actually killed. I mean, I guess even though Gen 2 is known as being bulky, like, the stadium stuff isn't as bad because most of them don't have anywhere close to max stats. But that'll still wall me. Oh boy. How do I deal with Miltank? I'm just gonna stay in. I'm gonna reflect, and then I'll just low kick it and try to flinch. So many Pokemon learn Reflect because it was a TM in Gen 1, and for some reason, a ton of Pokemon get Reflect. Like, why does Dodrio learn Reflect? And it's so weird because I think Reflect became a TM again, but most of the Gen 1 Pokemon that can learn it can't learn it anymore. So I don't know, it's strange. Oh my god, it has Swagger? I think I gave the Miracle Berry to Golduck, so I kind of wish I had him. But the Amnesia Golduck can't get any egg moves because it's a giveaway. So there's nothing you can do about that. Thankfully, that's going to make it hit way harder. Oh, Swagger's Psych Up? Oh shit. If I don't kill it right here, it's going to like outspeed and wreck the rest of my team. Oh no. Okay, the Reflect is helping. I should live another Stomp because of the Reflect. That's good. Okay, hit him! Hit him! No! No! Miss! Miss! Wait, Dodrio has Scope Lens. You can't miss. Dang. Tank Mill. It really is a tank. Pikachu will not outspeed this thing. Like, even with, like, high stats, like, Miltank is very fast. So I guess I'll just send a Gligar to tank. Miltank's probably one of those Pokemon that a lot of people don't realize how fast it is. It's base 100 speed. It's actually very fast. I guess I'll just Earthquake. Sandstorm doesn't... What, Gligar outsped? What's it doing? There's no way Gligar outspeeds Miltank. I think Miltank has like the same speed as... No, Tauros has 110. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. I think maybe 110 is its attack stat? I don't remember. I kind of have a general, like... general knowledge of every Pokemon stats in the first couple of games, but I don't have like specific. This Porygon could have Ice Beam, but it probably doesn't. I could have looked up everything before this hand, but I'm just kind of going off of like what can a Pokemon do. Boom. Nice. Wow. Oh, live with one? That's like the worst. His confusion made it tougher. See, I knew that would work. What a cocky little... I'm just gonna Wing Attack. It's funny how Wing Attack is actually like a good move for Gligar. Wing Attack is a good move for a lot of Pokemon, because like... Same with Scyther, like it gets Wing Attack and that's basically it. Man, that's brutal. I didn't realize his team had so much Psych Up on it. I just knew like he used like confusion moves. Ah well. Didn't get to continue, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. My consciousness is fading, says the Swagger cunt. Ugh, Swagger's one of those moves that's like, ugh. Why was it a TM, man? Why did it have to be a TM? Why does everything get to learn Swagger? It's the worst. Of course, you can like super counter it with like Bitter Berries and Miracle Berries in this game. Like, that's a really good strategy for like a Pokemon with self-destruct or something. You just give it a Bitter Berry and then they'll Swagger you and then you just blow them up and they're dead. Let's see. Normal type, normal type. Let's say... I guess Gligar and Dodrio again. And then I guess just in case Marowak's a problem, probably Golduck. Golduck's pretty tanky. You know, even though Golduck doesn't really have any relation to, like, Electabuzz and Magmar, it's kind of like the water-type version of them. given that it learns cross chop just like them and gets a surprisingly good move pool for what it is. Like it's it's pretty much like the epitome of generic water type in this game, given that all of its stats are very balanced and that it just has like pretty good special attack. I think its special attack in this game got boosted to 105, I want to say, whereas in Gen 1 it was only 85. Something like that. 80, 85. A lot of 80s basically for Golduck. But then it gets like cross chop. It gets psychic as an egg move. Oh crap, it's attraction. That's not great. Well, I guess I can just surf. Whatever. It's not like Delibird can do much. It's very weak. Delibird is pretty much the epitome of like just whatchamacallit, like I don't even know what you call it. It's just a goofy Pokemon that has like nothing for it. Let's Amnesia. I mean, if it's gonna fly. He wiggles his tail a bit and then he forgets stuff. Maybe I should have countered that. You know, in hindsight, I should have countered because that would have given me an extra chance to hit it. Because if I don't hit it here, I'm gonna... Is it? It's Quick Claw? You're kidding me. Well, now I'm countering. You schmuck. Quick Claw Delibird, God. You know, I actually did very good with a level 55 Smeargle in this cup. It had Spore, Lock On, and then Guillotine and Fissure. And it worked surprisingly good as moves. Why is... there's no way. It has to be Quick Claw, right? Because I was outspeeding it earlier. There's no way in hell I'm speed tying with slow-ass Delibird as a Golduck. I can't believe this thing has got me down to half health. I don't even remember what I was saying now. I'm like annoyed. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. The Quick Claw activating so many times is like befuddled me. I mean, it is higher in this game. It's like 23%, I think, because it's I think it's 80. Something like, or what is it? No, it's 60 out of 256 or something. Ooh, Sudowoodo, not a good matchup for ya. Ride that surf! Ooh, that's a dead boy. I'm not used to it using Attract. I'm used to the swimmer lady that uses Attract, but I think that might be in the challenge cups that's what I'm thinking of. Man, I used Amnesia and none of these dudes are special attackers. Where's Togetic, huh? Yeah, I'm not surprised it lived. What's it doing? Oh, Attract again. Hey, hey! Oh, there's the Goldberry. Dodrio outspeed, so I'll just slam into it. Come on and slam! Quick attack. It attracted me and it's just gonna use quick attack? Like, it's not even gonna bank on me being attracted. It's just like, alright, I'm probably gonna lose. This... Alright, whatever. Look at that name. Geotody? Geotody. I don't even know how to say that. I'm pretty sure that's a Pidgeotto, not a Pidgeot, so... Anyways. The Beauty Alyssa has lost. You know, it's kind of weird how This game uses, like, okay, a lot of the sprites and stuff and, like, artwork for trainers changed in Gen 2, but Stadium 2 has this weird thing where a lot of the Gen 1 trainer, or, like, the trainers that exist in Gen 1 still use their artwork from Gen 1. Like, the beauty in this game is a Gen 1 beauty, even though this game got a different, like, Gold, Silver, Crystal had, like, the blue-haired beauty that, like, kind of sits down. A bunch of fire types, so obviously Golduck kind of stomps the whole team, basically. Magmar kind of walls, and then Gligar hits really hard. That's all good and dandy. Man. I mean, I guess I'm not that surprised. Water types have always been just, like, such a good type. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how good of a type they are. Like, the only thing, like, think about, like, how water types are walled. Every water type, basically every water type in existence gets access to Ice Beam. So, think about what resists water. The only thing that resists water is other water types, grass, and dragon. And guess what Ice Beam is good against? Grass and dragon. Which means one of the best counters to water types is other water types that have access to, like, Thunderbolt. Like, Starmie or Gyarados. It's kind of silly, actually. I mean, Gyarados isn't that good because then it has such low special attack in this game. But yeah, it's kind of goofy when you think about how kind of like it's kind of one of those things that's not as pronounced as, say, like Dragon. But I mean, Dragon has this weird thing where, like, people consider the Dragon type broken, but really, it wasn't that Dragon types were broken. It's the fact that just the actual Dragon Pokemon had insanely good stats. Like, think about what Dragon is. It's just it's resisted by Steel and it's good against itself. So it just hits everything neutral, basically. But since Dragon types had really good stats, it's basically the same thing as just being good against every type. Oh man, he stole my berry and then glared me. It's like a combo right there. Like, consider Steel. Well, I guess Steel isn't the best example because Steel is resisted by fire, water, electric, and other Steel types. And then it's super effective against Rock and Steel, or against Rock and Ice, which is pretty much outdone by fighting. You know, fighting is even kind of a funny example of how fighting was such a horrible type in Gen 1 that even though it was good against normal types, they had such shit moves and stats that it wasn't even worth using them. It was better just to, like, counter their stats. Like, you hit Chansey with a physical attack, and then you hit, like, Snorlax and, like, Snorlax you just try to hit it really hard. And then Tauros, you just, I mean, you don't really do much about Tauros. You just hope you got Tauros doesn't kill you. It's the best Pokemon in Gen 1. That's not a legend. Alright. If you're gonna be mud slapping my ass, guess what? Not gonna work out for you. Like, that's a pretty common thing. I mentioned Gen 1 balance here, that people always say, oh, the Psychic types are broken. And that's true to an extent, but the real monsters of Gen 1 are the three normal type kings. Snorlax, Chansey, and Tauros, because they really don't have any weaknesses. Like, Alakazam, for example, is like, it's a Psychic type, and like the only real weakness it has is Bug. But it's also just like a frail Pokemon because it has such low defense and HP. So you just hit it, like, Tauros just like body slams it and it just like takes a ton of damage. Whereas Tauros' lowest like defense is 70 and it has like good HP, so it doesn't have to worry as much about that. And then I guess I can talk about, like, some of the moves too. Like, that's another thing you hear. Blizzard and Hyper Beam, it's like, oh man, they're so broken. Like, yeah, 120 power with 90 accuracy is so broken. Meanwhile, Gen 4 has Close Combat, which is 120 power and 100% accuracy. And now we have moves that are even better than that. Like, the Freeze was wicked, yeah, but, like, it's only 10%, and, like, obviously Ice types can't get frozen. And given that everything is so much bulkier in Gen 1 and 2, like, being 120 power isn't that big a deal. Like, it could be... It's definitely strong, but, like, it's not, like, broken strong. It's strong because a lot of Pokemon can use it, and it just so happens that Bolt Beam is such a good combo that, like, Bolt Blizzard is a thing in Gen 1. That's a lot of normal types. So Dodrio, maybe, let's say, Magmar. No, we'll just do Dodrio, Pikachu just for power, and then Golduck because he has Ice Beam for Dragonair. Man, Golduck is really coming in handy. Like, seriously, Surf Ice Beam is all every water type needs. Like, every water type in existence is at least, like, moderately good, because Surf Ice Beam is all you need. Like, look at this matchup. Like, he's probably not expecting this crap at all. He's like, oh, it's just a Dodrio, and then I'm gonna kick the shit out of it. Damn. You know, Sneasel is something I was thinking about earlier. I guess I'll get back to Gen 1 Bounce here, but Sneasel is actually a very good example of kind of a consequence of how physical and the special stats work in this game in the first 3 generations, and kind of just how almost kind of disappointing it is that they did the physical special split. Because while it's true that certain Pokemon like Sneasel were really bad because of it, that's not really a problem because of the physical special split. More, that's a problem that, first of all, that Sneasel's stats are just not very good, and second, that they didn't really give it good moves to deal with those stats. Like, you look at Kingler, for example, and even though it has really low special in Gen 1, it also has access to, like, the best move in the game in the form of Crab Hammer, which is a 90 power move that always crits, basically, for Kingler, which definitely helps make up for its low special. Ow! That didn't kill, wow. You know, another thing about what is Low Kick's power in the game, isn't it only 50? So Drill Peck and Body Slam are probably stronger, but I mean, Low Kick could have flinched. And I hope that I paralyzed with Body Slam. I didn't, that sucks, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Thunder Punch! Dang. But yeah, like, the physical special split is helpful, and it definitely helps a lot of Pokemon, but at the same time, I feel like it kind of creates this problem, or maybe not even a problem, but just like, it's kind of almost disappointing because it feels like it genericizes. How would you? Is that a word? Generic? I don't even know how you'd say it, but like, it makes the type kind of generic. Cause like, that was kind of the cool thing about Pokemon like Skarmory, where they don't have physical weaknesses, which is what made them such good tanks in the first place. And I know it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like, you can, it creates this interesting dynamic where, like, if you're a Pokemon that wants to use an ice move, it has to be a special attack. A water or an ice move, it has to be a special attack, because that's how the game is designed. And now it just feels like, well, you just use a physical ice or water move if you're a physical Pokemon, that's all that matters. It creates this, like, what's kind of cool about the vast move pools of a lot of Pokemon, like normal types, for example, is that stuff like Kangaskhan has really low special attack in this game, but it can use Surf, and it can use it decently because, like, it gets, you know, like, Surf is still good for, like, whatchamacallit, for, like, rock ground types. I guess I'm not explaining it as well as I want to, but I don't think I ever could. It's just something I've always thought of. And it's funny, it's Worcester who kind of... Wow, that did nothing! That didn't do nearly as much as I thought it would. And now I'm going to be forced to use Fly. This sucks. I wish I could refuse an Encore. I'm just going to switch to Golduck. Worcester, actually, if you've never heard of Worcester, you really should. He's like a prominent Pokemon speedrunner. And he says a lot of things, and I kind of agree with most of what he says. Like, he has some really good thoughts. But, like, the physical special split is just something that it definitely is useful, and it's kind of a natural progression of how Pokemon works, but it also is just a kind of a disappointing thing that it kind of almost makes the game less interesting, I think, in a way. What's the best word to describe it? That's probably the best I'll get, is that it's just less interesting and maybe more generic as a result. Because like I said, it's like, now all that really matters for Pokemon is just like, if it's a physical Pokemon, it just gets physical moves, and that's all that matters. But like in Gen 1 and 2, even Pokemon like Tauros and Kangaskhan that have really low stats for one thing, and even like Machamp, like a lot of Pokemon will run special attacks in this game. Like Machamp often runs Fire Blast because that deals with Steel types, who mostly have low special defense in this game, and because of that, running Fire Blast is worth it even though his special attack is very low, because it helps him get past like Fortress and Scizor and Skarmory a lot easier than otherwise. Man, look at that Smeargle. There's actually a lot of Smeargle palettes in this game. I think there's like 4. And they actually have like, I think they have different patterns. Let's see. Pikachu's probably good. I haven't really used Magmar at all in this. But there hasn't really been much to use them on. Is basically why. I guess Gligar, and then... Right now I'm suffering because Quagsire would kind of wall me, but I guess I'll just use Golduck again. Golduck is so good in this cup. There's just been so much that, like, I mean, just in general, like, Golduck's just really good. But yeah, like I said, just, it's nice, but I almost kind of wish it hadn't happened. Or at the very least, I'm glad, well, I don't know. It's such a complicated topic, because it's one of those changes that maybe isn't huge, but a lot of people don't realize just how much of an impact it has on the way Pokemon works. Is that gonna be Quagsire? Crud. I probably should have prepared for this more, because Quagsire actually kind of walls my team. Well, that's fine. Golduck, my boy. Whoa. And yeah, what was the other thing I was talking about? Gen 1 bouncing? Alright, Hyper Beam was what I was going to talk about. Hyper Beam is another one of those moves that, like, people say, oh man, it was so busted in Gen 1. Like, yeah, 150 power move that if you fail to predict what's going to come out, you just Hyper Beam a Rhydon and just can't do anything for a whole turn. Real broken, eh? If I had to guess, this Quagsire is probably going to Earthquake. Say, really? I wanted to counter it, but dang. Ow! But yeah, like, Hyper Beam's good in Gen 1, but like, it's not broken or anything. And I mean, ultimately, the fact that it got nerfed means it's basically unusable now. You never see anything using moves like Hyper Beam, Giga Impact, Frenzy Plant ever anymore. They're just not good moves. Like, they're strong, but losing a turn is always bad. Are you kidding me? Did he really surf me again and then Sludge Bomb me after I didn't counter? This son of a bitch. How did he predict me like that? I'm pretty sure the AI in this game does not cheat in terms of knowing what moves you pick. But it might be true that they might read your moveset and then like kind of switch up appropriately. I think that might be a thing. Like, they don't know what you're going to use, but like if they do, I think they do read your moveset, so they kind of cheat a little, but you know. That's here or there, whatever. Only other thing I can think of is like Wrap and Bind, those moves. About like broken, and like they're definitely very annoying, but they're not really broken. Because ultimately, Wrap and Bind are still moves that miss like 30% of the time, and if you miss, but basically I can sum up as a Wrap Dragonite does 4 damage like 20 times, and then it gets Blizzard and gets 1 shot after doing like maybe half damage. What's this? What is this guy gonna do? Pikachu can't take a hit, so I'm just gonna... I guess I'll just Ice Beam and hope I freeze. Dang. Yeah, it's gonna Psychic, I sort of figured. But Pikachu would have gotten obliterated by that. Slowbro got buffed in Gen 2. Its special attack went up a lot. I think it's actually 110. Up from like 80. It's kind of the nice thing about the special split is that a lot of Pokemon got very needed buffs. And some Pokemon are kind of almost hilarious how like skewed their like stat totals are. Where like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee both had like a buff of like 70 points in special defense from like 30 in Gen 1. Actually, I think it's a buff of like 100. I think they went up to like 130 or something huge like that from like 30. It's huge how much their special defense went up. Like every Hitmon, I think special defense is their highest stat. Which definitely helps them. Who's my last Pokemon? Isn't it Gligar? Yeah, so I'll just Thunder Wave. Although in hindsight, I probably should have just Thunderbolted, but I mean, whatever. It's never a bad idea to paralyze something. Paralysis is just such a, good status. There's a reason why Gen 1 is basically paralyze everything in the meta. If you're not paralyzing it, it's because you want to put it to sleep, or maybe freeze it. Because Poison is such low damage, it's only 1/16 in Gen 1. Compared to Gen 2 and onwards 1/8. Burn is also 1/16, and even though it does have attack, not a lot of Pokemon really care about getting burned in Gen 1. Like Tauros would, but like getting it is hard because because fire is such a horrible type in Gen 1. Alright? It's only good against bug and grass, which flying does better. And even then, grass and bug are also fairly poor types in Gen 1. Like, grass is okay, like Venusaur and Victory Bell are pretty good Pokemon in Gen 1 because of Sleep Powder growth. But ultimately, that's just how it is. Man, that went by a lot faster than I thought it would. Man, Pokemon Stadium is so good. It's so disappointing we never got games like this. Like, we got one for Gen 1, we got one for Gen 2. We didn't get one for Gen 3, but at least Emerald had the Battle Frontier, which was sweet. And then Gen 4, we had both Revolution and then the Battle Frontier and Platinum and Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But Revolution kind of sucked, to be honest. Like, it's okay, but it's nothing compared to the Stadium games. And then from there on, we just got nothing. Like, Black and White 2 had the big tournament thing, which was sweet. And then, like, from there on, we really haven't gotten much of anything other than just Battle Towers, basically. It kind of sucks. Like, if you've ever read any of the Pokemon, official, like, Pokemon company, like, Twitter, like, tweets, they're just, like, they have, like, no confidence in Pokemon anymore. Like, I don't get it. But that's a topic for another time. Anyways, that was fun. I'm planning to do the other 3 eventually, too, and who knows, maybe I'll do some other stuff, like Challenge Cup. Challenge Cup is really fun, because it's just, you just get random Pokemon and you just make do with it. It's a very fun way to challenge yourself to just do, like, the Master Cup and stuff. Anyways, see you guys later.